Hey everybody, as you can see here, this is going to be part 2 of the dollar store stuff. So I went back and picked up 3 more of these Woodcraft Kit coin banks. Try and build some ammo crates out of them. See what we come up with. So I did put the first one together. Let me show you the... Okay, so here is the first one completely done. And I did this all with the glue it came with and everything. So I took the extra decorative strip up here and covered up the slot, which I probably won't do again because that'll make it harder to stack. And this little button right here that came with it, kind of threw it on the back just to give it some sort of something. Give you an idea of how big it is. Here is an orc commando. So as you can see, that is a pretty tall bit of terrain for $1. So I think that really works as a good line of sight blocking. You get 2 or 3, again, even if you just put these straight up together like they are, just like this. I mean, I wish I would have had more of these strips here to finish off the look. So maybe if you can, other than that, you've got just a straight up box that's going to look great as an ammo crate, just straight out of the package. Yeah, so that's good. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the other two. I think what I'm going to try and do is put 2 of them together into one big ammo crate and compare it to the Frontline Gaming one that I have for size. And then I also got, of course, the wooden dowels that I bought. I can use for accent or trim pieces. And if I wanted to orcify it, which I'm not going to do with these, I'm just going to leave them plain and boring because I don't really feel like putting that much work into them. I might rust them up or something, I'm not quite sure. But there's 2 other steps that you need to do to these things. One is sanding and the other is sealing. And the sealing, of course, is where the Mod Podge comes in. We're going to use this as a sanding sealer for the wood. And of course, just any old random sandpaper. I think this is 320 grit. 220 would work too. Smooth it down, because what you want to do with wood to make it look less like wood, of course, is to get rid of the grain and smooth it out, and sealer and sanding is how you do that. Normally, there is actually this stuff called sanding sealer, which I used for balsa fins on rockets, that fills in the grain, and you put it on there, you let it dry, sand it between coats, 2 or 3 coats of that. I don't know how many coats, and even when I do other wood bits, I just used watered down PVA, 5 or 6 coats of that, sanded down. For sealer, we're going to see how the Mod Podge works. It's supposed to work, I don't know if it's supposed to, for sealing, you just use it straight. It says sealer, apply thin coat, doesn't say about anything about thinning it down. But we'll try out with some sanding and some Mod Podge from the dollar store. Might accent a couple of them with some of the wood dowels, and see what we come up with for just a few dollars of terrain. So I'll get the other one out of the package. I'll be right back. Okay, so once again, this is what you get in the package for one of these coin banks. This one, unlike the first one, this is actually punched out. So that might become the bottom instead of the top. Then we got sides, front and back. So we're just going to go ahead and again put this one together straight out of the box, like we did with the first one. So, it's just like random pieces of wood. I don't think you're going to get any consistency to what. A couple of these, like in the first one, a couple of these strips were bent. This one's actually just been flat out cut through, like the laser went in the wrong direction or something. And there's lots of sand flash on this one, so the quality is going to vary a lot. So again, I'm just going to glue this up together. I'm going to not put the strips on, I'm going to save those, and then we'll stack these 2 up. Now these just take a while to dry because it is still PVA, so I guess you could speed it up with super glue if you wanted to, just to, in fact, it might not be a bad idea for me to speed it up a little bit just so I can get on with the video with some super glue. So I'm going to be back here in a minute when I get this one glued together, and then I'll work on gluing the other 2 into one bigger one. Okay, again, so I just went ahead and used some super glue on this, put it together real super quick, and with the super glue they go together fast. It's not a perfect fit. The sizes, the shapes of them, or the sizes of the pieces aren't perfect. So basically what happens is the sides here are just a little bit too tall compared to the front and back. And they're not big enough to go over the edge. They kind of have to go in like this so that the sides, so this is the front and back going like this. It can't cover up the outside of it. Where the parallel lines are might kind of indicate that. They're still pretty lined up. So I said these sides are just a little bit too tall for what you get. But other than that, you would probably expect some fit issues with, again, dollar boxes. So you can try and fix that if you want to. I just fill in the that bit glue. And I mean, just look at this. These things are just so perfect for this application, I think. I mean, you can put, with the super glue, and then I reinforce the joints with the PVA on the inside. So I used the super glue to join them together and then reinforce them on the inside with the PVA. Just the PVA it came with. I didn't bother using the tacky glue or anything. So that's what I did here. And it just goes together in just a couple minutes. So if you're thinking about building some ammo crates, you could buy 20 of these, get them put together in a day, sanded and painted the next day. This is great stuff. If you want, you could probably, if you really wanted to get sophisticated, put them on a base with some basing on there or something like that, or you can just leave them freestanding to stack them up like big giant Lego blocks on your table. I love this product. I absolutely love these things. These are so much fun because they're just wood boxes, but they're so cheap that there's just no limit to pretty much how many you want. So I'm going to take the other two. As I said, I'm going to put them together into one big piece, one big box. So I'll probably glue the rest of these on sometime in the future. Or I might save these for something else, or I might use the wood dowels on that one, make it look a little different. In fact, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that real quick finishes up this. So I just cut and sanded off the 4 round pieces, just give it some corners, adjust it up a little bit, and then I took the extra pieces and finished the back of this, so now it has all 8, so it has all its corners complete. So we got a nice pair of stackable crates here again, compared to an ork. Great piece of terrain for no money, and sometimes sacrifices for cost are always going to be a good thing, especially for terrain, because if you spend less on terrain, that's more money on models. Stuff's not dry, obviously. So yeah, there we go. Those are the 2 individual crates, and I gotta let this stuff dry, of course, before I can do any sanding. And then we'll go ahead and work on the other one. I got a lot of extra pieces now to try and join this ends together, so we'll see what we come up with. So I'll be back again. Hey everybody, so it's the next day. This one has dried completely now. It's nice and solid, and again, I think it looks pretty good. It's gonna take quite a bit of sanding to get it smooth enough to be playable, though. So here's those 2. And then I said I was gonna make the other 2 into single ones. So this is the first step, was to take all the 4 pieces and glue them together. So I used the short piece that came in the kits and then one of the broken long ones to glue these all together. They're not quite perfect, as I said. The sizing of these aren't quite right. Especially like on this one, that gap there. This piece is smaller than this piece. Looks like this was has a very rough edge here, so it looks like this was intentional, or it was just a bad cut that they went ahead and kept anyway. So yeah, so everything else is glued together here. A couple of these things aren't quite straight. Might require a little bit of sanding before trying to glue them together, but yeah. So I'm going to put together this big one here and go on from there. So I'll be back in a bit. And we're back once again, and here we have the double-sized storage container, all glued together. Again, I use super glue to put the main box together and just the PVA to reinforce that on the inside, and then put on all these strips with the PVA. Even with these extra ones I used here, I still have 2 more, and of course the 2 sides left over, and these 2 things, which I don't know what we can do with them. But yeah, so this is pretty good sized. Again, let me dig out a Commando here. So it's definitely not something hard to hide behind. And of course, you can just start stacking these things up here to a nice little hiding spot. So I was going to show you the Frontline Gaming one for size comparison. And unsurprisingly, it's virtually the same size. So, definitely can't complain about that at all. This is a great size, and they will obviously work together very nicely. But you know, to be honest, this is $2, just as it sits, and some super glue. The PVA, or you can just use the PVA that comes with. You don't even have to have anything else. You can just use the PVA it comes with for $2. You got this. This is, I think, was it $8? Or I think it was $8. And you know what? I don't think it's 4 times better. And after putting this one together, I definitely think it's not 4 times better because of the way they did it. Anyway, so that is it for the 4 coin banks. I now have everything built. So the next step is to Mod Podge it, see if it actually works. As I've said, I've never used the Mod Podge before. So first we're going to take some 320 grit sandpaper here and just go over the whole thing with this 320 grit to smooth it out. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's kind of loud, but so I'll be back when it's done with this one. Okay, so I went ahead and sanded these 2 boxes, and just off camera I played with the first batch of Mod Podge there. So let's talk about it here. So it looks, when you squirt it out, it looks like PVA. But man, it does not smell like it. It has a very strong odor to it. But you're going to use it straight out of the bottle. And we're going to go ahead and just coat everything. Do a nice thin, even coat. Mod Podge here. Bad framing there. So anyway, so apparently Mod Podge works pretty good for just straight out of the bottle. We need to thin it out. And it seems to dry pretty quick. I mean, it starts to dry up just as I'm working on it. And this isn't quite dry yet. It's really close. So yeah, it dries up pretty quick. So what we'll do is we'll definitely give it a few coats, sanding between coats. See how long it takes to really seal this stuff up. But yeah, I think we're going to call this video here. This is going to be quite long, quite a bit of work to put together. Whew, that is strong odor, for sure. So once again, total investment here is $6 for 4 of these $1 coin banks, the bottle of Mod Podge, and the bottle of the tacky glue, which I actually didn't end up using because I just used the PVA that came with it instead. And so we've got a very nice, at least I think, very nice collection of ammo crates here to use as terrain. And again, they could easily, if you want to put some time into them, you could add panels, you could orkify them up if you wanted to. without too much effort. You know, just grab an old cereal box and cut up some random shapes and glue those on there with the PVA that comes with. That's an option. I'm just going to keep them plain because I'm lazy. Didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on them. But yeah, still, for these things are just awesome. And they're boxes. I mean, you can build, I mean, looks like I got for 2 out of them. You get 4 of them together for like, you can build a bunker without really any effort. Just put 4 of these together, so double the size of this one, and you have something the size of an Imperial bunker kit. I said, just with the wood though, if you don't want the wood grain to show, you do need to go through the work of sealing them up, which is sand, seal, dry, 2 or 3 coats at least, probably. But the Mod Podge looks pretty thick, so hopefully it'll only be 2 coats to really get the wood grain sealed up, so it looks more like metal. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing to complain about here. So once again, don't be afraid to hit the dollar store. Those toys, the craft aisle, anything there at the dollar store is worth picking up. Even if you don't use it, you know, you're not spending a lot of money on stuff that's going to be sitting around. So give it a try. So dollar store ammo crates out of coin banks. Looks like a good deal to me. Thanks for watching.